Alright, welcome back to Super Sentai Review episode 281. Yes, there will be, next video we do after this one will be Goblin Slayer. Don't worry about that. So, this will be discussing episodes 30 and 31 of Ninja Sentai Kakuranger, the final two episodes of the Hidden Scrolls arc. And the end of a series of, also the end of a story arc that's been stretching on since episode 23 of the series. Yeah, so in this two-parter, they were back at the same location they were last back in episode 24. It's been gone for 6 straight episodes, they're finally back. Actually, 5, actually. Yeah, been gone for 5 episodes, they're back. So, oh yeah, they're too late, and of course, Junior decided to step in, tries to fight the Kakurangers, and then all of a sudden we see a man clad in white armor. Who is this man, you might ask? Well, making his debut in the series, Hitamaru. Which, after knocking off his mask, reveals he's actually Tsurumi's presumed late father, who died when she was 7. Which they say, this was really weird. Okay, they say, she had just turned 16 at the start of the series. Well, actually, she just turned 16 in episode 23. So, they say it was 10 years prior to this. And they say, oh yeah, he died when she was 7. I'm a bit confused about that because she just turned 16. If this was 10 years ago, that means that he died when he was 6, not 7. So why did they get exception? I have no idea. So explained by Sudamaro after course him, he explains that he apparently betrayed He apparently had been researching about Denimar, how to beat him. Of course, he found out if he ever came back, it'd be a walking disaster. So, there was also these 2 boys, Tao and Zhao, who were the sons of a servant. The way he described it seems as though that basically Tsurumi's father may have cheated on her mother with the servant. My guess is, of what probably happened here, is that this is something I'm not the first time I've seen this, where in fact that the offspring of a servant is, well, either presumably or actually is the offspring of the Lord. It's Japan. They would kind of do this in fiction. This is a very popular trope, from what I can tell. So these 2 act like big brothers to Tsumi, basically 2 twins. Which, fun fact, the actors who played them were actually in Die Ranger. Yes. Yeah, they were. Kisuke Tsuya, he played Kazu of the Heavenly Time Star. Yeah, he was the yellow Die Ranger. Yep. Yes, he was. His brother plays Evil Clone. And they're back here for this series. Which is interesting, the fact they brought him back, which that's kind of a strange thing with this one. They bring back previous Sentai actors. This is not the first time they actually brought back previous Sentai actors for Kakuranger. They did with the actor who played Borai, who just was last seen in Zyuranger for Super Sentai World. One who played Karine from Jetman. She actually pops up here for a single episode as a reporter. And now these 2 have popped up here. One who previously played a ranger. I mean, I like it when Sentai does this, when they bring back previous actors for different characters. Doesn't happen all the time that they might play the same character, or at least, let's say, another ranger per se. Excuse me. There is a little fun fact that comes to that. There has been a total of 2 actors who have played... Actually, is it 2? No, it's 3. 3 different actors who have played Rangers in 2 in a row Sentai. The first being Kamen Rider 3's actor, who was in Go Ranger and Jack. Go Ranger, he was the blue Go Ranger, and in Jack, he was big one. Same thing happened with the actor who was known for playing Spaceship Gavin. He was in Dynamite. He was Maverick J in Dynaman, and also I believe the actor who was in Dynaman, Denziman. That was Dynaman Gogo 5, both playing Black Rangers. So that was a common occurrence to bring one actor in the previous series to play in the next one. But now we're not doing that anymore. Let's just play one-shot characters, or in the case of this one, completely different characters. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, they bring back 2 actors from Zyuranger in this series because, like I mentioned before, Rika is played by the Pacha Ranger, aka the Pink Zyuranger. So we have 2 from Zyuranger, 1 from Die Ranger who appeared in this series, and 1 from Jetman. I thought it was really cool the fact that they did it. That they did that, and I thoroughly liked that. So apparently these 2 got in trouble, and in exchange for saving their lives, Jisumi's father agreed to become the yokai. He worked for the Yokai Armor Corps, which I believe this is the first time the name has been mentioned in the series in episode 30. I think it was episode 30 or 31, I think it was, where they actually mentioned that name, because they still refer to it as the yokai, not the Yokai Armor Corps. Which I thought that was quite interesting, because that's what the Wiki refers to them as. It could be the subbers, but this first time they've heard of it as an official organization, because it's just a series of monsters. There's no official organization for the yokai, so now we got one. Okay. So their plan is this, to basically destroy the door and kill Junior. That's their plan. So then he sort of briefly fights their father, and of course, basically, they get away. And of course, also, the other Kakurangers knocked in the river, but lucky enough they're saved by Bond, who was last seen back up to 26, along with the 2 dogs. Which, we won't know who they are until toward the end of the series. So then, of course, you have them fighting Junior. Well, actually, Sodarai basically finds out, and he fights Junior first, and he loses, and gets stabbed in the gut by his own katana, by Junior. So the Kakurangers all suit up, and they beat the crap out of, Junior in his monster form. And then Sokai, who's still alive, gives Red a sword. And you're thinking, what? A sword? Yeah, the Thunder Sword. The Thunder Sword Hinamaru. Yep. I think this may have been the only episode we show up in. Short sword. And Junior's like, what is that? Yeah, he has no idea about it at all. So yeah, then of course it's like, okay, let's go to giant size form. So, and then of course they summon all 5 of their Zords. They battle them for a bit, and of course also where Sorai tells them, okay, time to combine to form Daishogun. Like, Daishogun? Really? You mean that statue? Yep. So now we have the Sentai debut of the Ninja Megazord. Which, by the way, they used, if you watch My Rangers and watch this, it's the same exact footage. They used the footage from this one for the show. The one for the My Rangers movie, it's complete original footage, but using those swords. And thanks to this was like, and of course, Junior's response is, Daishogun, how dare you! And then Daishogun proceeds to destroy Junior in his monster form. And then they're like, okay, so he's defeated, so destroy the sealed door, and, well, the people returning to the storm back in episode 23 of the series had not been restored to normal. And like, okay, that's gone, Junior's gone. Oh, by the way, also, Satoru dies. The professor who's been helping out since episode 12, he gets killed off in this episode. So they're like, okay, things can get any worse. And then all of a sudden, the destroyed sealed door reforms by pure magic. And this episode's not really explained here. And then we have the true main villain of the series showing up here. Dynamaro. He finally shows up. And you can tell by looking at him, you're Master Vile from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Well, the same suit. Yep, so yeah. In the first two appearances, it was more like in shadow. Here is basically like in person. And from what I read, he is apparently 1,200 years old. Yeah, 1,200. So apparently, according to the research I have here, apparently the guy who voices Denamaru previously voiced the omnipotent god in Son Vulcan. And he later voiced Captain Zahab from Gigaman. His suit, the actor's name is Hidotsugu Shibota. His suit actor is Hideki Hayaki Kasumi. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah. So, and of course, it's revealed in these two episodes that this guy is actually Junior's father. And Junior's like, aren't you going to make me basically like your heir? Yeah, so he comes out and then, of course, goes to the Yokai Mansion where we see the Flower Punishment Squad. They're there for a quick cameo along with a bunch of our monsters. And him basically sitting down on his throne. And mentioning, oh yeah, it was always meant to be that he was going to be my heir. But now since he's dead, I'm going to basically revenge the Kakurangers for killing it. He's like, I'm going to have revenge the Kakurangers for killing my son. Yep, so his revenge scheme for pretty much the rest of the series. Yep, but fantastic 2 episodes. I love them. Like, ends basically like it gets rid of a villain who's been there since for a little while. Yeah, surprisingly, here's the strange thing about between Junior and Rita Revolto. Rita Revolto appears a lot throughout season 3 of My Power Rangers, along with Zeo and after Zeo, he of course doesn't really appear again after Zeo, but I heard also at the time that his suit was falling apart by the time Zeo aired because, well, here's kind of the reason why his suit fell apart. They used it a lot, so his suit obviously fell apart. And the thing is, after My Power Rangers Season 3 wrapped up, like once that Alien Rangers wrapped up, well, everything else you see in Zeo, that's all original footage. And Revolta's counterpart, Junior, never interacted with Goldar. Never did. They're from 2 complete different Sentai. And for some reason, yes, they made Master Vile his father, which what he is here. So, like, they basically just made it up basically because she was there as Rita's brother. Now, it's explained in a comic book that Rio's actually her half-brother because her mother was, in fact, had sort of a human-like appearance. That's why she looks different from her brother and father, because of her mother. And, well, basically two different mothers. That's basically what it's explained in a comic book related to these 2 characters. But as for Professor Yokai, the Professor has been hearing since episode 12, it seems as though he didn't do very much at all until this very episode. And he gets killed by falling debris. Yeah, he wasn't really a major threat to the Rangers. He appears like prior to Junior's debut, he only appeared in 1 episode, returned a few episodes. He didn't appear a lot throughout the series. No, not really. And if you're really, really curious, so How many episodes did the Professor Yaga appear in? 4, 5, 6. He roughly appeared in 7 episodes. His previous appearance for 30 was back in episode 20. Yeah. Junior, meanwhile, he is credited for appearing in 12, 13, 14. He's credited appearing in 15 episodes. Yes. Though in the case of Flower Konichi team, they appear like after already one. They only appear for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They only appear for 9 more episodes, and that's it. Hakamaru, he actually disappears for a few episodes, so he comes back in episode 36. Now, it is something though that they do this where the general is like introduced very late in the game. But the very next episode, under Damaru, we get our very first bad guy under him. The very next episode. But here's the thing. We're going to be with Kakuranger for about 5 more episodes, and then I'm going to break from it to work on a different series. Now, right now, that's not my next thing to work on. Right, next thing to work on is going to be Goblin Slayer. I'm going to finally start working on some anime. Yeah, maybe later than I wanted to, but I really want to get this one Sentai today. Yeah, I surprisingly got done today, like, at this point. Like, I watched 25 last night, so I got done 6 episodes today, so... with this, before I end this video here, you're probably curious though. With 5 episodes of my break, how many episodes left overall for the entire series of Kakuranger? There are 22 left. You're thinking, really? You have 22 left and you're only going to do 5 more? Yeah, I originally was going to stop at 31, but I really want to get to a particular character who is very infamous in My Ranger Season 3, so I'll get to him soon, but not right now. Next up, Goblin Slayer. Okay, next video. Bye.